Li Jiayun's fingers moved quickly across her keyboard as she worked on her latest quantum physics calculations. The soft glow of her computer screen lit up her small office at the Seoul Research Institute. It was already 7:30 p.m., and she needed to pick up her daughter Hae-yoon from the after-school program soon. As she saved her work, a loud boom shook the building. Papers fell from her desk, and her coffee mug crashed to the floor. Ji-yun jumped from her chair and ran to the window. Her eyes grew wide at what she saw. A massive silver spaceship hovered over Seoul, its metal surface gleaming in the setting sun. It was bigger than any building she had ever seen. Smaller ships flew around it like bees around their hive. Her phone rang. It was Hae-yoon's school. "Mrs. Lee, strange ships are in the sky. Should we keep Hae-yoon here?" the teacher asked, worry clear in her voice. "Yes, please keep her safe. I'm coming right now," Ji-yun said. She grabbed her bag and coat, running out of her office. The streets were chaos. People pointed at the sky, some running, others taking pictures. Police cars raced past with sirens blaring. Ji-yun kept running toward Hae-yoon's school, pushing through the crowds. Suddenly, a bright beam of light shot down from the big ship. It hit the ground in front of Ji-yun, making her stop. When the light faded, a tall figure stood there. The alien was at least 8 feet tall. It wore shining armor covered in strange symbols. Its skin was blue-gray, and its 4 eyes glowed orange. 2 arms crossed over its chest, while 2 more held a staff made of some kind of crystal. "I am General Mokta of the Celestial Empire," the alien's voice boomed. "We have come to test Earth's strength." Ji-yun tried to step around him. She needed to get to Hae-yoon, but Mokta moved to block her path. "Where are you going, human?" he asked. "To my daughter," Ji-yun answered firmly. "Please move." Mokta laughed, the sound like grinding metal. "A female, going alone to protect young. How weak. In the Empire, warriors protect the young. Females are too soft, too emotional." Ji-yun felt anger rise in her chest. "Being a mother doesn't make me weak. Now move." "You amuse me," Mokta said. He looked at the crowd gathering around them. "Your whole species is weak, especially your family units. 1 parent raising a child. Pathetic. No wonder you haven't left your solar system yet." Ji-yun stepped right up to the alien general. Though he towered over her, she didn't feel afraid anymore. Her voice was steady and strong. "You don't know anything about Earth Mothers, General. We are scientists, workers, protectors, and warriors all in one. We don't need your approval. Now for the last time. Get out of my way." The crowd had grown silent. Mokta's orange eyes narrowed at Ji-yun's challenge. For a long moment, neither moved. Then Mokta smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. "Perhaps you will provide some entertainment after all. Go to your young one, Earth Mother. Soon, all humans will learn the true meaning of strength." He vanished in another flash of light. Ji-yun didn't waste any time. She ran the rest of the way to Hae-yoon's school. Her mind racing. Something told her this was just the beginning. When she finally held Hae-yoon in her arms, Ji-yun looked up at the alien ships through the school window. She had faced doubters before, people who said she couldn't be a single mom and a quantum physicist. Now she would show this alien general just how wrong he was about Earth Mothers. The next morning, every screen on Earth showed General Mokta's face. His orange eyes glowed as he spoke to humanity. "People of Earth, the Celestial Empire has watched your planet for many years. We find you lacking. Your technology is primitive. Your social structures are chaotic. But we are not without mercy." Ji-yun watched from her living room, holding Hae-yoon close. Her daughter gripped her hand tightly. "We offer you a chance," Mokta continued. "Send your best warriors to compete in our galactic trials. If your champions win, Earth stays free. If they lose, Earth joins our empire as a low-rank world." The screen showed images of alien warriors fighting in massive arenas. They used strange weapons and powers that looked like magic. Many had 4 arms like Mokta. Some were even bigger. You have 1 day to choose your champions. Choose wisely. The broadcast ended. Jae-yun's phone rang. It was her friend Park Do-hyun from the research lab. Jae-yun, turn on the news. The military is picking fighters. They want strong soldiers and martial artists. She switched channels. Sure enough, army generals were listing what kinds of people should volunteer. All of them were men with combat training. They're thinking about this wrong, Jae-yun said. Did you see those alien weapons? They're using quantum technology. I recognize the energy patterns. What do you mean? Those aren't magic powers. They're using science we're close to figuring out. Our lab's research. She stopped. An idea forming. Jae-yun, what are you thinking? I have to go, she said, hanging up. She turned to Hae-yun. Sweetie, what would you think if Mommy went away for a little while to protect Earth? Hae-yun looked scared. Like the alien fighters. But you're not a soldier. No, but I'm a scientist. And a mother. Jae-yun smiled. Sometimes that's stronger. An hour later, Jae-yun stood in front of Earth's Emergency Council. Military leaders and politicians stared at her. You want to be a champion. You're not qualified, one general said. I'm more qualified than anyone, Jae-yun answered. Those alien weapons use quantum physics. That's my job. And I have something else no one here has. What's that? The motivation of a mother protecting her child. Jae-yun stepped forward. General Mokta thinks Earth mothers are weak. I'll prove him wrong. Let me fight. The council members whispered among themselves. Finally, the head of the science division spoke up. Dr. Lee's research in quantum physics is advanced, and we've seen how mothers can do impossible things to protect their children. More discussion followed. Jae-yun waited patiently. She thought of Hae-yun, of all the children on Earth. Someone had to protect them. Finally, they voted. Jae-yun would be one of Earth's champions. As she left the council room, her phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number appeared. Foolish Earth Mother, you have sealed your fate. And your daughters. Jae-yun's hand shook, but her voice was steady as she typed back. No, General Mokta. I sealed yours. Jae-yun stood in the underground training facility, surrounded by glowing quantum sensors. Do-hyun worked at the control panel, adjusting settings. Ready? He asked. This might feel strange. Jae-yun nodded. She wore a special suit covered in tiny computers. Do it. Do-hyun pressed a button. Energy filled the room. Jae-yun felt her body tingle as quantum fields formed around her hands. Focus like we practiced, Do-hyun said. Think about protecting Hae-yun. Jae-yun closed her eyes. She thought of her daughter's smile, her laugh, her need for a safe future. The energy responded, gathering into bright spheres around her fingers. Amazing. Do-hyun checked his readings. Your emotional connection makes the quantum field stronger. The aliens won't expect that. Jae-yun opened her eyes and moved her hands. The energy followed, forming shapes she could control. How long until the competition? 2 weeks. The other champions are all training with weapons, but you're learning something better. Jae-yun practiced for hours. She learned to make shields, to move objects without touching them, to bend space in small ways. Each time she got tired, she thought of Hae-yun and found new strength. During breaks, she studied videos of alien battles. She noticed things others missed. The way their weapons used quantum tunneling, how they folded space to move quickly. These weren't magical powers. They were science she could understand. Their weakness is their pride, she told Do-hyun. They think humans are simple. They won't expect us to understand their technology. One evening, Hae-yun visited the facility. She watched her mother train with wide eyes. Mom, you look like a superhero, she said. Jae-yun smiled and made a small light show with quantum energy. I'm still just your mom, But now I can do some new tricks. Will you beat the mean alien who made fun of us? I'll do my best, sweetie. For you and for Earth. That night, after Hae-Yoon left, Jae-Yun trained harder than ever. She combined quantum physics with things she knew as a mother, multitasking, staying calm under pressure, thinking quickly to solve problems. Your numbers are off the charts, Do-hyun said. But there's something else. Something the sensors can't measure. What's that? A mother's determination. The aliens measure everything in strength and skill. They don't understand what it means to fight for your child. Jae-Yun created the biggest quantum shield she'd made yet. It shimmered like a rainbow in the training room lights. Then I'll teach them, she said, one lesson at a time. As she practiced her final exercise that night, an alert came through. The first competition would begin tomorrow. Jae-Yun looked at a picture of Hae-Yoon on her phone, then at her glowing hands. She was ready. The alien arena was massive. Floating lights lit up the space like stars. Thousands of aliens from different worlds watched from the stands. Jae-Yun stood in the waiting area, watching her opponent through a force field. Rakfor was twice her size. His 4 arms held quantum weapons that glowed with power. His armor looked thick enough to stop a tank. As he warmed up, he smashed training drones with ease. Still sure about this, Earth Mother? General Mokta's voice came from above. He sat in a special box, watching with his orange eyes. Jae-Yun didn't answer. She checked her simple suit one last time. Do-hyun had added special quantum sensors to it, but it looked plain next to Rakfor's fancy armor. A loud horn sounded. The force field dropped. It was time. Rakfor charged at her, all 4 weapons firing quantum blasts. The crowd roared, but Jae-Yun stayed calm. She'd seen this in the training videos. She moved like she did at home when catching Hae-Yoon's toys before they fell. Her quantum shields appeared exactly where needed, bouncing the blasts back at Rakfor. He stumbled, surprised. Stand still, tiny human. He growled, switching tactics. He tried to fold space around her, a move that usually trapped opponents. Jae-Yun smiled. She understood quantum physics better than he did. As the space twisted, she rode the waves like surfing on the ocean. She'd learned this movement helping Hae-Yoon learn to swim. The crowd got quiet. This wasn't going as expected. Rakfor got angry. He fired all weapons at once while charging. But angry fighters made mistakes. Jae-Yun had seen this many times breaking up fights at Hae-Yoon's playground. She waited until the last second. Then she opened a tiny quantum tunnel, like the ones she'd studied in her lab. Rakfor's charge took him straight into it. He vanished and reappeared 10 feet up, upside down. His weapons fired randomly as he fell. When he hit the ground, his armor cracked. Jae-Yun walked calmly over to him. With a simple quantum push, she sent his weapons sliding away. Impossible, Rakfor said. You're just a mother. Jae-Yun created a quantum blade and held it to his throat. The move she practiced 1,000 times in training. Yield, she said. I yield. The words came out choked. The arena erupted in chaos. No one had expected this. Up in his box, General Mokta gripped his chair so hard it bent. Jae-Yun looked up at him and gave a small wave. Then she turned and walked out of the arena. She had a video call with Hae-Yoon scheduled, and she didn't want to be late. Behind her, the aliens were still shouting. The Earth Mother had won, and this was just the beginning. 3 weeks into the competition, Jae-Yun had become a legend. The aliens called her the Mother Warrior, a name that made General Mokta's face twist with anger every time he heard it. Today she faced her 5th opponent, a fighter from the ice worlds. He could freeze quantum fields solid. The last 3 champions who fought him ended up frozen in blocks of ice. Mom, be careful, Hae-Yoon said during their morning video call. I saw him fight yesterday. He's scary. What do we do when something's scary? Jae-Yun asked. We understand it first. He-Yun answered, remembering their talks about monsters under the bed. That's right, and I understand exactly how his powers work. In the arena, the Ice Warrior attacked first. Cold quantum fields shot toward Jia-Yun like a winter storm. The audience leaned forward, expecting to see another frozen champion. Instead, Jia-Yun's quantum field vibrated at exactly the right frequency. The ice crystals shattered before touching her. She calculated this after watching his previous fights. Impossible, the Ice Warrior shouted. No one breaks my ice. A mother once broke through 6 feet of snow to get medicine for her child. Jia-Yun said, your ice is nothing. She pushed back with her own quantum field, heated to precise temperatures. Where ice and heat met, steam filled the arena. The Ice Warrior couldn't see through it, but Jia-Yun didn't need to. She'd memorize his position, just like finding He-Yun in a crowded playground. One quick move and the fight was over. Another victory. Later that day, Do-Hyun showed her the rankings. You're in the top 10 now. No one's ever risen so fast. Jia-Yun nodded, but her mind was on He-Yun's words from their call. Something feels wrong. The opponents are getting too predictable. Maybe you're just that good. No. She pulled up videos of her fights. Look, each opponent had one strong move, but fought like they'd never faced someone who could counter it. It's like what? Like they're being chosen to make me overconfident. She remembered teaching He-Yun about bullies, how sometimes they let you think you're winning before they strike. Her computer beeped. A new message from General Mokta. Impressive victories, Earth Mother. Perhaps your daughter would enjoy watching tomorrow's fight in person. I can arrange special seating. Jia-Yun's hands tightened into fists. Now she understood. All these fights had been leading to this moment. No thank you, General, she typed back. He-Yun stays on Earth, but don't worry, I'll give you a fight worth watching. She turned to Do-Hyun. Double the training tonight. The real battle is about to begin. Jia-Yun woke to blaring alarms. Red lights flashed in her quarters on the alien station. Something was wrong. She grabbed her phone. 20 missed calls from Do-Hyun. One message. They took He-Yun. The world stopped. Her hands shook as she played the video file he'd sent. The footage showed He-Yun's bedroom. A flash of light, then 4 armed soldiers appearing. They grabbed her sleeping daughter and vanished. The timestamp showed it happened just 10 minutes ago. Jia-Yun's quantum sensors began to crack from the energy pouring off her body. She didn't try to control it this time. Her door burst open. General Mokta stood there, smiling. Looking for something, Earth Mother. Where is she? Jia-Yun's voice was deadly quiet. Safe. For now. Mokta's orange eyes gleamed. Withdraw from the competition, and she returns unharmed. Continue fighting, and he shrugged all 4 shoulders. Jia-Yun's response was not words. The quantum energy she'd been holding exploded outward. Mokta flew backward through 3 walls. Alarms screamed louder. Security forces ran toward her quarters. But Jia-Yun wasn't there anymore. She was moving through the station, quantum fields ripping doors open. All forces, stop her. Mokta's voice boomed over speakers. The Earth Mother has gone rogue. In Earth's military command center, Do-Hyun watched the chaos through hacked security feeds. He grabbed a microphone. Jia-Yun, I'm tracking He-Yun's phone. They're taking her to Mokta's personal ship. Warriors tried to stop her. Energy weapons fired. But nothing touched her. The quantum fields around her body were stronger than ever, powered by something the aliens couldn't measure, a mother's rage. She reached the docking bay just as Mokta's ship was taking off. Through the windows, she saw He-Yun in a cell, scared but alive. Mom. He-Yun's voice came through their quantum-linked phones. I'm coming, baby. Close your eyes. Hold on tight. Jia-Yun gathered every bit of quantum energy she could reach. The ship's engines fired, starting to jump to light speed. You can't stop a starship, Earth Mother. Mokta's laugh filled the station. Watch me." The quantum blast from her hands hit the ship's engines. Space itself cracked. The ship shuddered, its jump failing. But it still escaped into space, vanishing among the stars. Jai-Yun stood in the wrecked docking bay, breathing hard. Station security surrounded her, weapons ready. "Stand down," they ordered. "No." Her quantum fields flared brighter. "I'm not stopping until I get my daughter back. And if anyone tries to stop me." She looked at the destruction around her. "Well, you see what happens when you make an Earth mother angry." Jai-Yun sat in Earth's fastest spaceship, surrounded by quantum computers. Do-Hyun had connected them to her suit, turning the ship into one big quantum sensor. "His ship left energy traces," she said, studying the data, "like footprints in space." Earth's military commanders watched on screens. "We've sent ships to help search," one said. "No time to wait." Jai-Yun's fingers flew over the controls. "Hae-Yoon's phone is still connected to mine. The quantum link is weak, but it's there." She followed the trail through space, pushing the ship's engines hard. Mokta thought he knew quantum science, but he didn't understand how a mother's connection to her child could make quantum links stronger. Her screen beeped. A message appeared. "Help comes from unexpected places." The message was from an alien mother. Then another message came. And another. Mothers from across the galaxy were sending her coordinates, shortcuts, secret routes. "We too know a mother's love," they wrote. "Mokta has forgotten the old ways. He must be stopped." Jai-Yun's ship jumped from point to point, following their guidance. Each jump brought her closer to Hae-Yoon's quantum signal. "Mom." Hae-Yoon's voice crackled through static. "I'm okay, but I heard them talking. They're taking me to something called the Fortress of Silence." Do-Hyun's voice cut in. "Jai-Yun, I found it. The fortress is a hidden base where Mokta trains his warriors. It's inside a quantum storm. No ship can survive that storm," a military commander warned. Jai-Yun smiled. "No normal ship. But I understand quantum storms better than anyone, and I have help." Messages flowed in from alien mothers, sharing their knowledge of the storm. Some had lost children to Mokta's warriors. Others simply wanted to help a fellow mother. Jai-Yun combined their knowledge with her quantum physics. The storm wasn't random. It had patterns, like the chaos of raising a child. "Hae-Yoon," she said through their quantum link, "remember how we dance in the rain?" "Yes, Mom. You said to feel the rhythm." "The storm is just like that. Hold on tight. I'm coming to dance." Jai-Yun's ship approached the quantum storm. Lightning made of pure energy crackled around her, but she wasn't afraid. She had the strength of a mother's love, the power of quantum science, and the help of mothers across the galaxy. The storm swallowed her ship. Through the chaos, she saw it, the Fortress of Silence, Mokta's hidden base. "I'm here, baby," she whispered. "And nothing in this galaxy can stop me now." The Fortress of Silence broke its own name when Jai-Yun arrived. Alarms screamed through every corridor. Warriors ran to their posts. In the central chamber, General Mokta watched security screens with growing fear. "How did she get through the storm?" he demanded. "It's impossible." "Sir," a soldier reported, "other ships are coming. Hundreds of them." The screen showed ships of all sizes breaking through the quantum storm. Each one carried mothers from different worlds. They had followed Jai-Yun's path, using their combined knowledge to brave the storm. Jai-Yun didn't wait for them. She burst through the fortress walls using pure quantum energy. Warriors tried to stop her. She didn't even slow down. "Mom." Hae-Yoon's voice guided her. "I'm in a big room with weird lights." The training chamber. Jai-Yun thought. She knew the way. Mokta met her at the chamber doors. All 4 arms held powerful weapons. One more step, Earth Mother, and Jai-Yun didn't let him finish. Her quantum field smashed him through the doors. Inside, she saw Hae-Yoon in a cage made of energy. "I study quantum cages in my lab," Jai-Yun said, walking toward her daughter. "Would you like to know their weakness?" You can't break it, Mokta growled, standing up. It's powered by the fortress itself. Jai-yun placed her hand on the cage. The weakness isn't in the power, it's in the creator's arrogance. The cage shattered. Hae-yun jumped into her mother's arms, but the reunion was short. Mokta screamed in rage, firing all his weapons at once. Hae-yun, Jai-yun whispered, remember what I taught you about bullies. Her daughter nodded. As Mokta's energy blasts came at them, both mother and daughter moved in perfect sync. They dodged like they were dancing in their living room. Impossible. Mokta kept firing. She's just a child. She's my child, Jai-yun said. I taught her everything, including this. Hae-yun touched her mother's quantum field. Their bond made it stronger. Together, they created a quantum wave that no weapon could match. Mokta flew across the room, his weapons shattering. Outside, the other mothers had taken control of the fortress. You don't understand, Mokta said weakly. Power comes from strength. No, Jai-yun corrected him. True power comes from love, something you forgot long ago. She held Hae-yun close as guards, sent by the alien mothers, took Mokta away. Mom, Hae-yun asked, can we go home now? Yes, baby, let's go home. Behind them, the Fortress of Silence had become the Fortress of Victory cries, as mothers from across the galaxy celebrated the power of a parent's love. 1 month after the battle at the fortress, Jai-yun and Hae-yun stood before the Galactic Council. The Grand Hall was filled with representatives from 1,000 worlds, including many of the mothers who had helped them. The Celestial Empire has ruled through fear for too long, the head council member said. Today, that changes. Jai-yun watched as they brought in Mokta, now wearing simple clothes instead of armor. He looked smaller without his weapons. Your crimes against families across the galaxy end here, the council declared. You will spend your life helping the children you once hurt. Mokta bowed his head. Finally, he understood real strength. Then the council turned to Jai-yun. Earth Mother, you have shown us something we have forgotten. The greatest power in the universe isn't in weapons or armies. It's in a parent's love. They presented her with a glowing crystal. This is the Star of Unity. With it, you will serve as Earth's first ambassador to the stars. Hae-yun clapped proudly. That's my mom. The crystal responded to her joy, glowing brighter. Jai-yun smiled. Even the ancient artifacts knew the power of a child's love. Back on Earth, things changed quickly. The quantum technology Jai-yun had mastered was now taught in schools. But more importantly, family bonds became the foundation of Earth's new space program. In her lab, now much bigger than before, Jai-yun trained other parents. Some were scientists, others were workers or teachers. All of them learned that their love for their children made them stronger. Mom, Hae-yun asked one evening as they watched ships take off from their new house's window, are you happy we had this adventure? Jai-yun hugged her daughter. At first, I was scared, but you know what? It showed everyone what I already knew. That being a mother is the most powerful thing in the universe. Even more powerful than quantum physics. Way more powerful, though the quantum physics helped too. They laughed together. Outside, more ships rose into the sky. Many carried Earth parents going to help other worlds. Some carried alien families coming to learn Earth's ways. The stars didn't seem so far away anymore. And somewhere up there, other mothers were telling their children the story of the Earth Mother who changed the galaxy. Mom, Hae-yun said sleepily, tell me again how you broke into the fortress. Well, Jai-yun began, her quantum crystal glowing softly. It all started with a mother's love. And in the years that followed, that love continued to change the universe, one family at a time.